Hello, my dear PU1 students. Your FA1 exam is at door, and you want to prepare last minute all the questions. Just want to check whether all the questions you have studied or not. So here I am. I am going to give you the question list for all the chapters at one go. Also, if you want the answers for these questions, I have done a one-shot FA1 video. The link of that will be given in the chat below, so do check that out if you have not yet checked that out. But yes, the questions, what are all the questions that might come from each and every chapter, so that I am going to share in this short video. First, units and measurement. Give any two limitations of dimensional method. State the principles of homogeneity of dimensions. Write any two or three rules for writing significant figures. Check the dimensional correctness of the equation. There can be any equation. This is just a example which is being asked in the past, so that's why I have taken it. I have solved this question as well. So if you are solving any dimension based questions, you have to check left hand side and right hand side separately and show that both sides have same dimensions. In case they do not have same dimension, you have to mention it is not dimensionally correct. Okay, so but here this equation is a standard equation of motion, right? So it has to be dimensionally correct, so you have to show that it is dimensionally correct as well. The solution, as I mentioned, I have done in a one shot video. Do check that out if you have not yet. Derive the expression for period of a simple pendulum which depends on its length and acceleration due to gravity using dimensional analysis. This is also super important for your first unit test exam. Now let's move on with the next chapter, motion in 1D. Motion in 1D means motion in a straight line. Okay, in short we call it motion in 1D. Okay, one dimension, that is straight line. Next, difference between instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity. Position time graph for negative acceleration, positive acceleration, constant speed. Derive the expression v is equal to v naught plus at using velocity time graph. So graph based derivations are super important. Applications of velocity time graph. So application of velocity time graph means they might give you a graph. From there they might ask you how to calculate the distance traveled, that is the area, or what is the slope. Slope means the acceleration. So that these kind of application based questions might come, maybe not in your FA1 but in your annual exam these kind of questions might come. X equals to v naught t plus at square using velocity time graph. There is one mistake though, it will be half at square. Next, v square is equal to v naught square plus 2ax using vt graph. These two derivations are super important from this chapter, and one of them are going to come in your FA1 exam as well. They are highly probably that one of them will come. Okay, not 100%, but yes, 80% sure. Next, next chapter is motion in a plane. Sometimes we call it motion in 3D or motion in 2D. Now let's move on. Resultant of two concurrent vectors. Okay, triangle law, then parallelogram law. One of these laws are important. I have given triangle law of vector addition, but based on this might be some questions, numerical questions might also be there. Time taken to reach maximum height by a projectile, range of a projectile, maximum height of a projectile. Okay, so these are the small derivations from this chapter. Show that the trajectory of a projectile is a parabola. Another super important question. Find the maximum height and range for a projectile. Basically, this is the combination of these two questions in a 5-marker format. Okay, so if you practice this, you will be not only be getting a high chance of getting a 2 or 3 marker question, but also 5 marker if you are lucky, right? So these are all important questions from this chapter. Next chapter is laws of motion. Another important chapter. Here, advantages of friction, methods to reduce friction, second law of motion statement, impulsive force and its example, banking angle of roads, state the law of conservation of momentum, prove laws of conservation of linear momentum using Newton's law of motion. Also, the derivation of F is equal to ma. These are the 5-marker questions. So state Newton's law of motion and hence derive F is equal to ma. So these are the standard questions from this chapter. Again, another super important chapter. You should not skip this chapter. And from motion in straight line, motion in plane, and laws of motion, you are also expected to get numerical questions. So do practice numerical questions from these 3 chapters. Next is Last chapter, work energy power. Now work energy power is not complete, chapter is not there in your syllabus. Up to collision it is there. So here I have given you some questions from this chapter. Obviously exact all questions are not, I will not be able to predict all the questions coming from this chapter because only half of the chapter is there, but these are the questions from those half chapters which are important. Properties of elastic and inelastic collision, work energy theorem, no work force, derive the work energy theorem for a variable force or constant force, both can be asked. Next, illustrate the conservation of mechanical energy in case of a body dropped from a height capital H. This is a question that is being asked last year, and it is an important question, so do practice this as well. Easy question, but yes, you need to practice it, right? So I hope that your PUC first FA1, that is your first major exam that you are going to write in your first PUC, right? This is, before that you may have written some of the college exam, but this exam scores are important because that will be added to your SAT, right? In your progress report, this marks will be added. Even though for physics the this does not have any long term effect, but for mathematics and non practical subjects, these do carry marks for your internal score, right? You know, I hope that you know. So I wish that you have prepared FA1 exam perfectly, and in case you have any doubt, any questions, mention that in the comment section below. Also do check the long form one shot video where I have done all these questions at one go and all the answers are discussed there. That will be very, very helpful if you are just looking for a quick revision or quick preparation before your exam, right? And if you are watching for first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel because a lot more PU1 content is going to be available very, very soon, and we are going to do all the chapters of your PU1 and we will teach you so that you never have to regret anything, right? So all the best for your FA1 exam, and I'll be back. Till then, bye.